Hello guys, welcome back to the course. So in this video we'll be creating and activating the delete function for this delete button we can see over here. But before we do that, you notice that the serial number here is not in order. We are having a static number 333. So let's fix that first before we begin. So the first thing we need to do is to create a variable $serial number equal to 1, which is static. So then the next thing we need to do is to come back into the loop and we use the PHP echo $serial number SN ++. So what that means is that it's going to auto increment for every new value that is added. Now we can refresh our browser and we can see we have 1, 2, 3. The next thing we need to do is to work on the delete function. So the first thing we'll do here is to change this button to an anchor tag. We can also remove this at the end to also an anchor tag. Then we can remove this, we don't need this, but we need the class. So the next thing we need to do is to create a href and equate it to a URL. The URL we'll be using will be delete_task.php. Now this file doesn't exist, we're going to create it in a minute, but before we do that, we'll have a question mark and create a variable called delete. Now this variable will equate it to the PHP echo $id close PHP. Now what this means is that when the delete button is clicked, it should take us to the delete_task.php and it should fetch the ID of the particular task we want to delete. So next thing we need to do is to come here and create the file delete_task.php. Then we enter. So the first thing we need to do is to come here and copy our database connection, because for every file you need to use the database to be able to access the database. So now we start with PHP, we paste our database connection. Now we are connected on this file. So next thing we need to do is to use the if is set $_get delete. So what this means is we're going to be getting the delete variable. So what we are saying here is if the user clicks on this delete button, it should appear in the URL. For example, let's refresh this. I hover my mouse over here, you can see it at the bottom left here, delete equal to 2, you see delete equal to 3. So if I click on delete, it should take me to the new page. Then it should indicate in the URL what I want to delete. So it's from this URL we're going to fetch the ID and the information required for what we want to delete. So next thing we'll be doing is we'll create a variable called $id. You can use any variable of your choice, but I prefer to use $id and equate it to $_get delete. So what we'll be doing next is we'll create a variable called delete and we'll say delete from, so what's the table name? To-do list. So we are saying delete from to-do list. But what are we deleting? An item where the ID of the item is equal to $id. So that's what we want to delete. Next thing we'll be doing is get our query. So our query will be equal to mysqli_query $con $delete. Now the next thing we'll be saying is a condition. If $query goes through, what you should tell us is echo deleted. Otherwise, which is the else, otherwise if something goes wrong, echo failed to delete. So we can save this. So let's try out everything we've been doing. So refresh the browser. Now we have exercise. Let's delete and see. It's saying deleted. So let's go back and refresh. You can see exercise is gone. But we notice one thing, that when we click on delete, we have to come back and refresh. So what we need to do is very simple. We'll just say header location. I want it to go to index.php. So that's what we're saying. It should take us to index.php. So now if I delete this first item, cooking, it refreshes by itself and it disappears without me refreshing manually. So delete, and you can see cooking is gone. So I don't want this video to be long, so that's basically it for the delete function. In the next video, we'll be handling the status, so that when we click on the button finished, it should update the status that we finished, that the task is no longer in progress. So I'll see you in the next video. If you have any challenge, do make sure you go through the video again and again, and if you still have issues, be free to drop a comment and I'll do well to respond as soon as possible. Bye bye.